Romance is my favorite genre in anime because when the characters are good, the emotions are high, and the soundtrack, they just play that one song. Oh man, that's when you are just completely immersed in this romantic connection. It lets you forget for a single second that she took the kids and you're late on child support. And fellas, is there any better feeling than that? Makoto Shinkai. Now, this man has dedicated his entire life to romance movies, and he is a master of creating that romantic climax that I was talking about earlier. 5 centimeters per second, Garden of Words, and Weathering with You are some of the most visually stunning and compelling romance anime that you're gonna find. But I still think his best work is Your Name. Now, most people prefer Weathering with You because overall it is a cleaner plot technically, but I have to admit that I just have that special connection with Your Name because it's the very first anime movie that I saw in theaters, and it just stuck with me so hard, The insane time-lapse shots that just entrance you, the Rad Wimp soundtrack that hits you like a truck, and that moment where she trips and falls and sees that he actually wrote I love you instead of his name. God, what I wouldn't give to relive that moment. Inject that shit into my veins now. Unfortunately, most modern romance anime don't even come close to reaching that in like 24 episodes. It feels like nowadays they're just focused on trying to make me laugh, which, let's be honest, anime's track record for comedy anime is probably worse than the 2024 Pistons, and I'm blaming the anime fandom for that. Yeah, I'm blaming all you guys. I swear, every season, y'all anime fans will just gas up the same trope of interesting girl paired with the most boring ass guy who just always looks like a walking turd. And I'm blaming this new genre of romance anime that I like to call virgin core. I mean, this season it's Alya-san, which honestly speaking is one of the better ones, but still, I just hate this generic pairing so much. Uzaki-chan wants to hang out, Komi-san can't communicate, Shikimori-san is actually a cutie, my dress-up darling, don't totally miss Nagatoro. Just stop it, please, I can't take it anymore. All of these are fucking terrible, and I refuse to elaborate further because you know what? YouTube removed dislikes anyway. Yeah, what are you gonna do, huh? Just keep clicking away, buddy. It's not gonna change the reality that these anime and manga are just boring. When I'm watching a show like Nagatoro-san, where the main character is just a shrimp that could be replaced with the average anime fan, I immediately lose all interest in the show. You know why? Because romance isn't a one-way street. Yeah, I'm talking to you, little Jimmy. Tugging your sword doesn't count as a romance. To make a successful romantic anime, the most important thing you need are good characters. Specifically, you need at least 2 good characters that are both fleshed out, even just a little. And the perfect example of this is Kaguya-sama. Every single character in this show could be a main character for a whole nother series. Please make an Ishigami anime. I would pay to see that. But the main 2 protagonists are just so fun to watch that they always steal the spotlight every time you see them on screen. Kaguya is a beautiful, highly intelligent, sheltered, rich kid, and Shirogane, he's hardworking, quick-witted, and broke. These 2 complete each other like, Mario and Sonic making out. Hey, I'm not gay. You're the one who can't stop looking. The amazing thing with Kaguya-sama is that both our main characters start off as kind of tsunderes with like an insane amount of pride. They don't want to confess to the other because they think they're going to get rejected or it'll make them look weak, or both for Shirogane. And because of this, both characters are forced to tear down their walls and become vulnerable with each other over the course of the series because at the end of the day, isn't that what romance is all about? Not to mention the fact that it has a very satisfying conclusion, unlike some other shows I could talk about. But you know what? Let's just talk about it right now. Shunibyo, I fucking hate you. If you don't know, this anime is about this girl Rika that, played too much Baldur's Gate 3, and she thinks she's a wizard IRL. The main character is just a regular guy, but he used to be like her in middle school, with all the LARPing shit. Now that he's grown up, he's trying to fit in and get a girlfriend, he's left that life behind him. And it creates a lot of funny moments where he's getting secondhand embarrassment every time Rika does something cringe. This anime gave me some of the best fight scenes ever, it gave me some of the best character development with Rika, and then like a psychotic torturer, the show made me watch failed kiss after failed kiss, and at the season finale, this happens. This scene was enough to make middle school me crash the fuck out. At this point, I robbed my mom at gunpoint and spent all of the money gambling CSGO skins. Okay, but seriously, when an anime just keeps teasing the relationship like this over and over again, and it just feels like it's avoiding putting the 2 main characters together, that's when I start hating the show. Like it's punishing us for wanting them to get together. It's like with Kimi ni Todoke, I loved the buildup of the first season, and then season 2 comes around with just misunderstanding after misunderstanding. understanding, and it felt like we went backwards instead of forwards with their relationship. And that just annoys the shit out of me because it feels like the author doesn't respect my time that I'm putting into the series. Like, I'm not gonna let you just keep squeezing out more chapters or episodes because you need to inflate the runtime. Now, to be fair, you need to give characters time to develop a good chemistry that's worth watching. I understand why some authors will do this. And a show that actually I think fails at this is Horimiya. Well, I 100% respect the decision to have the romance happen within the first 3 episodes, and the rest are kind of slice of life-ish. It did feel like we could have gotten a few more intimate moments before they started dating. Also, the show gives a weird amount of attention to side characters only to just discard them and never develop their relationships, especially this yellow girl. I mean, that should just piss me off. And although I know I clowned on Kimi ni Todoke, it still is really good. And those romantic moments, that shit can make a grown man behind on child support payments giggle and kick his legs. I just need that sometimes. With shounen anime, you remember the cool power-ups, the epic fight sequences, but with romance anime, it's those like heartwarming scenes that just stick with you. Or it can be gut-wrenching, like with Clannad After Story. Now, I'm not going to spoil Clannad because I've actually played the visual novels. It is high-key one of the best romance stories just of all time. You need to watch Clannad. And watching After Story made me sob harder than when she drove off with the kids. I think everyone needs to live that experience at least one time in their life. But I got a hot take for Clannad that most of you, I already know, most of you guys are going to hate. Nagisa, she is not the best waifu. Yup. I like me some white-haired chicks, so what can I say? I am a firm believer that Tomoya should have chosen Tomoyo, because their dynamic is just way more interesting. If you didn't know, KyoAni made these Clannad side stories for all the other girls that did end up getting dumped by Tomoya, and that's what awakened me to the true best girl. Alright, let's compare them. What does Nagisa even do? Huh? She lives at a bakery shop? Pathetic, okay? Tomoyo over here, she doesn't take shit from nobody. She's beating up delinquents on the daily, and I'm just like Spike. I want a woman who will just beat the shit out of me. But she's also very intelligent and actually ends up becoming the student council president. Now, the sad part about her arc is that everyone assumes that Tomoya is a bad influence on her, so they actually try to separate them, and Tomoya ends up leaving her because he just wants her to succeed, man. So they end up going their separate ways, and I'm over here teary-eyed because I was really warming up to Tomoyo. But at the end, they get back together and my neurons started firing. It was a beautiful ending. Anyway, after yapping about all these different romance anime, I think it's finally time to unveil my personal favorite romance anime of all time. But before that, let's go through the honorable mentions. Yeah! Bunny Girl Senpai has a super fast-paced romance, kind of like Horimiya, but with supernatural elements, and it also reminded me of Charlotte in a good way. I also just watched the movie too, and goddamn, it was fantastic. Yeah, definitely check this out if you want a faster romance, but also one that's very in-depth and interesting. My teen romantic comedy snafu. This is a romance anime that requires like multiple rewatches because these guys do not talk like high schoolers. It's like they all have degrees in psychology and Japanese, the way that every conversation becomes super introspective and deep. But if you are into that heavy dialogue, the drama in this show is literally unmatched by any other anime. Plus, Best Girl won, so I'm happy. Ouran High School Host Club is probably my favorite shoujo romance of all time. It's pretty outdated and it can get a little weird at times, but it's so funny, and Kiss Kiss Fall in Love is going to be etched into the back of my skull when scientists dig it up 1,000 years later. Yona of the Dawn is one of the best romance anime with a really great soundtrack. Piero's decent animation and pretty awesome female MC it all works together to make a good show. I also love political anime, and this kind of like political backdrop with the princess escaping is really fun. Okay, now it's time for the best romance anime in my eyes, and this might just be recency bias because the second season of this anime just came out this last year. Yes, that's right. It is Dangers in My Heart. Now hold your horses. I know you're about to go check it out and maybe watch it, but let me just break down why it's so good. The reason that Dangers in My Heart is so good is solely due to its characters. The main character Ichikawa has an absolutely insane arc. He starts off as the don't come to school kid, but he slowly realizes that his edgy and violent urges are just feelings that he doesn't understand yet. He's a dumb middle schooler that can't understand that his attraction towards Yamada, or why he feels that, is just normal, and he tries to mask it by being super edgy. And then we have Yamada, the class beauty who is an absolute airhead but has this weird ability to just connect with anyone. The anime is all about Ichikawa slowly losing his edgy persona and Yamada kind of being more vulnerable with him. And while it does wrap itself up good enough, the manga is also really, really good. Honestly, the best part of this story is just how relatable it is. I mean, shit, I went to an American high school, but there were so many relatable character moments and reactions that it kind of felt nostalgic to my own middle school experience. I think it's just so easy to understand the characters because we follow all of Ichikawa's inner thoughts, and also the animation and music is fucking incredible. Like seriously, most romance manga don't even get good adaptations, but Dangerous in My Heart got the special treatment and it looks fucking amazing. Honestly, well deserved. For context, when I started this series, I ended up binging both seasons and the entire manga in 3 days. Yeah, it takes a lot for a series to get me obsessed like that, so definitely go check this one out. Anyway, that is the video. Thank you for 50,000 subs, genuinely. That is insane. I can't even visualize that in my head, but yeah, I'll see y'all later. Peace.